It's one of the most disputed places on Earth. But have you ever wondered, why is it called the West Bank? The answer isn't just geography, it's history, politics, and identity. The West Bank, a name we hear constantly in news reports and discussions about the Middle East. Yet, despite its frequent appearance in headlines, few truly understand its significance and the complexities it represents. Before West Bank, this land had many names, each reflecting the influence of different empires and civilization. Each name echoed the identity of different peoples and eras, leaving behind layers of historical meaning. Tracing the journey of this name from ancient times to the present day reveals how naming a place can become a deeply political act, a way of asserting control and shaping perceptions. This isn't just about geography, it's not simply about lines drawn on a map, it's about power, who gets to define the narrative and control the land and the stories we tell about ourselves and others. Why was this name chosen? West Bank. Who chose it and what were their motivations? What other names compete for legitimacy and what histories do they represent? By the end of this exploration, West Bank will mean more to you than just a spot on a map or a place name in the news. To understand the name and truly grasp its significance, you have to understand the map, its contours and its context within the broader region. We need to delve into the geographical realities that underpin the very label West Bank. The West Bank is simply the land on the western side of the Jordan River. It's a designation rooted in a straightforward geographical observation. The river, flowing from the Sea of Galilee to the Dead Sea, carving its way through the landscape, has always been a vital border and source of life, a lifeline for communities on both sides. To the east is Jordan, a nation intrinsically linked to the West Bank through history and geography. To the north, south, and west is Israel, creating a complex tapestry of borders and relationships. The West Bank is landlocked, compact, and incredibly diverse, a microcosm of landscapes within a relatively small area. Rolling hills stretching as far as the eye can see, olive groves, ancient and enduring, and arid deserts, stark and unforgiving. Its geography has shaped life here for millennia, influencing settlement patterns and cultural practices, dictating where people could live and farm, and how they could thrive in this unique environment. The area is about 130 kilometers long and up to 65 kilometers wide, a relatively small territory, but packed with history. The Jordan River is more than a border, it's a symbol, it's a sacred site and a strategic resource, vital for survival and steeped in religious significance. The name West Bank ties the land's identity to its relationship with the river, emphasizing its position, not its ancient cities, its rich cultural heritage, or its deep historical roots. This simple geographic label became the foundation, a seemingly neutral descriptor, for all the political layers that followed, shaping the narrative and influencing the future. The term was adopted at a specific time for specific reasons within a particular historical context, turning it into a name loaded with meaning, a term that carries the weight of history and political struggle. The river defined its border, but politics defined its name, imbuing it with layers of complexity. When we say West Bank, we invoke both geography and a century of political change, a constant interplay between the land and the events that have shaped it. For centuries, the land now called the West Bank wasn't a distinct entity. Under the Ottoman Empire, it was part of larger districts, no West Bank on their maps. After World War I, the British took control, creating the Mandate for Palestine. The area was still not called the West Bank, it was simply part of Mandate Palestine. This period saw rising tensions, Jewish immigration, Arab resistance. The British struggled to manage both. The land's identity was in flux, caught between Ottoman past and an uncertain future. Names like Palestine, Judea and Samaria were used, but West Bank had not yet appeared. In 1947, the UN proposed partitioning Palestine, but the plan was only partially accepted. The end of the British Mandate in 1948 and the outbreak of war set the stage for a new name to emerge. The outcome of that war would shatter old borders and create the conditions for the birth of the West Bank. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War redrew the map. The area west of the Jordan River, meant for an Arab state, was captured by Transjordan. In 1950, Transjordan annexed the territory and renamed itself the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The land on the east became the East Bank, the newly annexed land became the West Bank. This was the official birth of the term as a political name. Jordan chose West Bank to avoid older, more charged names like Judea and Samaria or Palestine. The name helped legitimize Jordanian rule and integrate the territory into its kingdom. For nearly 2 decades, the West Bank was ruled as part of Jordan. Its residents granted citizenship. The name became entrenched in diplomacy and journalism. In 1967, Israel captured the territory, but the name West Bank stuck. A short period of Jordanian rule left a lasting mark on the world's vocabulary. The name's legacy endures, even as control of the land changed hands. West Bank might sound neutral, but in this conflict, no word is without weight. For many Palestinians, the term feels like a relic of Jordanian rule, downplaying their national identity. They call it Palestine. Many Israelis, especially settlers, reject West Bank and use the biblical names Judea and Samaria, emphasizing ancient Jewish ties. The choice of name reflects political perspective and historical narrative. West Bank is the internationally recognized term. Judea and Samaria asserts a biblical claim. Occupied Palestinian territory highlights the legal status since 1967. Each name tells a different story and signals a different vision for the future. The battle over names is a battle over history and identity. The name itself is a constant battleground. Beyond politics, the West Bank is home to around 3 million Palestinians and over 450,000 Israeli settlers. Life here is a mix of ancient tradition and modern challenges. Cities like Ramallah, Hebron, Nablus, and Bethlehem each have unique stories and vibrant cultures. Daily life for Palestinians is shaped by the Israeli occupation. Checkpoints, roadblocks, and the separation barrier are part of the landscape. Access to resources like water and land is a struggle. Despite immense challenges, there's resilience. Families build lives, celebrate, and create art. The olive tree, a symbol of peace and endurance, is central to local identity. Markets bustle, traditions endure, and a young, educated population navigates a complex reality. The West Bank is both deeply traditional and surprisingly modern. To understand it, you must look past the headlines to the people who call it home. Maps seem objective, but they're never neutral. The way the West Bank appears on maps reflects the politics of the mapmaker. Ottoman maps had no West Bank. British maps showed Palestine. Jordanian maps claimed the West Bank as their own yard. Today, Palestinian maps label it Palestine. Israeli maps call it Judea and Samaria. International maps use West Bank. The names and lines on a map shape how we see a place. Labeling it Judea and Samaria invokes ancient Jewish history. Occupied Palestinian territory frames it in terms of modern law. Over time, these choices become accepted facts. The widespread use of West Bank after 1950 cemented it in global consciousness. Maps and names are not just passive descriptors, they shape our understanding. So, what exactly is the West Bank? It's a question that doesn't lend itself to simple answers. There's no single, universally accepted answer. The reality on the ground is far more nuanced. It's a defined geographical area, a landmass with distinct borders and features. It's also the historical lands of Judea and Samaria, a region steeped in ancient history and biblical significance. Furthermore, it's considered a core part of Palestine, holding deep cultural and national importance for Palestinians. And undeniably, it's a territory currently occupied by Israel, a situation that shapes daily life for millions. To insist on using only one name is to deliberately ignore the complex, overlapping realities that define this space. It's a disservice to the people and the history. The journey of its name mirrors the turbulent and often painful history of its people, reflecting different eras and perspectives. Each name, West Bank, a term that arose after the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, Judea and Samaria, names with deep roots in Jewish history and tradition. Palestine, a name resonating with the aspirations and identity of the Palestinian people, represents a different chapter, a different claim, and a different vision for the future. The land contains multitudes. It's a mosaic of cultures, histories, and experiences. Its story is far too rich and multifaceted to be flattened into a single, simplistic narrative. The West Bank challenges us to think critically about the world, the narratives we inherit, and the words we use to describe complex realities. History here is not settled. It's a living, breathing entity. It's alive, constantly debated, and perpetually being redefined by the people who live there. The real meaning of the West Bank, the key to understanding its present and future, is found in recognizing and respecting all the diverse stories that converge and collide in this contested land. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to overlook the power of old names and history, but as we've seen, the past is never truly past. Names like Judea and Samaria, Palestine, and West Bank, each pull on different threads of history and identity. Exploring these names reveals that history is a matter of perspective. There isn't one objective history here, just a collection of stories, each held dear by different communities. Understanding why someone uses a particular name is about empathy, not just politics. Place names are more than words. They're carriers of memory and aspiration. When you hear them, ask, where did that name come from? What story is it telling? Only by listening to all the stories can we hope for a more peaceful, understanding future. Like and subscribe for more travel history adventures.